guys, I'm Chez and this is Chez M0i. What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today is Tuesday the 8th of March 2022. Happy International Women's Day. And I thought today I'd bring you a list of my favourite people who have inspired me over the years. Some I've been familiar with for a while and some who I've only recently found out about. So before we get into this video, I just want to recognise my mum. She's not on this list because she will always be number one. Even at my age, I still go to my mum for advice. And mum, I just want you to know that I love you so much. Thank you for everything and happy International Women's Day. As I said, today's video is about women that have inspired me. I admire them for different reasons. They have various qualities that I look for. This list is not really going to include people that you may expect, and one or two may even surprise you, but it's not a long list. It's only 6 women that I've shortlisted. Let's see if you recognise any of them or if any of them are on your list. These are in no particular order, so we'll start with the first one, who's Katherine Johnson. Katherine Johnson was an American mathematician whose calculations of orbital mechanics as a NASA employee were critical to the success of the first and subsequent US crewed space flights. During her 33-year career at NASA and its predecessor, she earned a reputation for mastering complex manual calculations and helped pioneer the use of computers to perform the tasks. Katherine Johnson wasn't a name that I was familiar with until the film Hidden Figures, and I think that came out in 2016. That was brought to my attention by my own daughter. I believe they were learning about Black history in school, something that we never learned back in the day. And she was raving about this film when she came back. I had never heard of this woman. I'd never heard of these African American women working at NASA back in the 60s. And I was fascinated. When that film came on the TV, I watched it with such great interest. I was just completely fascinated. Ms. Johnson passed away about 2 years ago now, and just the very fact that NASA, you know, they needed us, you know. These women on my list, they are representative of myself. They look like me and I look like them. And just to know that the brilliant mind of this woman, along with Dorothy Vaughan and Mary Jackson, you know, is something that uplifts my spirits, because that's an example of what you can achieve when you don't listen to the naysayers. So that's why Katherine Johnson is on my list. The next woman on my list is Florence Griffith Joyner. Florence Dolores Griffith Joyner, also known as Flojo, was an American track and field athlete. She set world records in 1988 for both the 100 metres and 200 metres. During the late 1980s, she became a popular figure due to both her record-setting athleticism and eclectic personal style. This woman, Flojo, I used to watch her when the Olympics were going on back in those times. She's the only reason why I would watch the Olympics, just her. I was into athletics at school. I used to be a sprinter. And this woman was such, just to watch her run, it was just breathtaking. And then added to that, she had these extra long nails. I don't know how she managed. But just to see that, just someone expressing their personality doing something that they love to do. And she stood out not only for her nails but for the outfits. I've never seen outfits like these before or since, and she was the only one that could pull that off. Unfortunately, she passed away, I believe it was 1998, and her name was tainted with regard to drugs, but regardless of what people want to say about her, you know, they really tried to taint her name. She will always be an inspiration for me. She will always be that one woman that will never be forgotten, regardless of what they want to say. She is definitely a character that people will remember, and that's Florence Griffith Joyner. Diane Carol is the next lady on my list. Diane Carol was an American actress, singer, model and activist. She rose to prominence in some of the earliest major studio films to feature black casts, including Carmen Jones and Porgy and Bess. In 1962, Carol won a Tony Award for Best Actress in a Musical, a first for an African American woman, for her role in the Broadway musical No Strings. The first time I'd seen this lady was in a show back in the 80s called Dynasty. It was a primetime show, highly rated, and it starred Joan Collins as one of the main characters, Alexis Colby. When Diane Carol came on the scene and she was put opposite Alexis as her rival, and I think her name was Dominique Devereaux. Even the name was just so classy, and when you saw this woman on the screen, she would cuss Alexis but so gracefully, so elegantly, and I was just like, who's this woman? Who is she? You know, I had no idea that she was an established actress. You know, she had longevity on the stage. Dynasty was the first time I'd seen her, and she made such an impression on me. She was so beautiful, she was so graceful, she was so elegant, and just the classiness on its own. It was like, wow. To see that in the 80s as a teenager, young woman coming up and seeing that representation on the screen, and it's like, you know, she went against the stereotypical angry black woman that you know, that thing that they like to say. It was so great to see her, and she passed away, I think it was 2019, at the age of 84. But yeah, Diane Carol, she's one that she had to make my list. There's no way she could not make this list. Let's talk about Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Lynn Rhimes is an American television producer, screenwriter and author. She is best known as the showrunner, creator, head writer and executive producer of the television medical drama Grey's Anatomy, its spin-off Private Practice, and the political thriller series Scandal. Now, I guess everyone knows Grey's Anatomy because that show ran for quite a long time. I'm not a big fan of medical dramas, but I could see she made that an established series. I wasn't too aware of her at that time, not being a fan of that genre of television. However, when Scandal came out, I sat up and took notice. Not only was it produced by a black woman, but the lead character was a black woman, Olivia Pope, played by Kerry Washington. I watched that show. I didn't watch it when it first came out. I watched it online, and I was like, look at what black women are doing in Hollywood. Even if doors had been shut in Shonda Rhimes' face, which I imagine that's what would have happened, she had her own doors that she created and she walked through, and she's like, I don't need you. That's what I'm imagining in my head. And the fact that she could do that and people know her name, she's on the, you know, she was on the cover of Time magazine. You know, that sense of achievement, that sense of accomplishment, which again says, if she can do it, I can do it. Another woman that I admire is Phyllis Wheatley. Phyllis Wheatley was born in West Africa. When she was a young girl, she was put on board a ship and sent to the US, where she was sold as a slave to a family called the Wheatleys. She was named after that ship, the Phyllis. While Phyllis was a slave, she was taught to read and write, which was unusual at the time. She wrote her first poem at the age of 14. At the age of 20, she moved to England with her son and within a year published her first book. This made her the first African-American poet to be published, with her first volume of poetry in 1773. The fact that her writing was so brilliant proved that women who were slaves could have amazing intellectual ideas when people hadn't thought that they could, and this contributed towards the anti-slavery movement. This is a prime example of how we as black women have been seen in the past, and to some extent how we're seen now, that we are not capable of thought, that we are not intellectual, that we are one-dimensional. But the very fact that Phyllis Wheatley managed to achieve so much at a time when she would have been looked at less than is a testament to her resilience and her ability to overcome obstacles. To even centuries later, she's been remembered and she's been recognized for her intellect. Amazing. Last but not least on my list is Folarin Awodija. Now, my Nigerian ladies, if I've pronounced it incorrectly, please forgive me. Please forgive me. I tried my best. Folarin Awodija is a Nigerian billionaire businesswoman and philanthropist. She is involved in the fashion, oil, real estate and printing industries. She's the Group Managing Director of the Rose of Sharon Group, which consists of the Rose of Sharon Prints and Promotions Limited, Digital Reality Prints Limited, and she's the Executive Vice Chairman of Famfa Oil Limited. She also has a majority stake in the Dayspring Property Development Company. Folarin Awodija is ranked by Forbes as the richest woman in Nigeria with an estimated net worth of $1 billion as of 2020. This lady is 70 years old. She's a similar age to my mum. She is in the fashion industry, as is my mum. And to see a woman of my mum's generation have such great success when the perception is that she should be a housewife, she should be at home, she shouldn't have any business acumen, she should just follow behind her husband, I presume. You know, these are just perceptions that, you know, have been made and observations that have been made. And this lady has proven the exception to the rule. She's still alive today, as far as I know. And she even knocked Oprah off the top spot when it comes to billionaire status. As far as I understand, she's the second richest woman on the continent of Africa, only surpassed by, I believe it's Isabella dos Santos of Angola. In conclusion, I just want to encourage you, especially you young women, make a list of your own, and when you're compiling that list, make a note of the reasons why you admire the women on your list. What qualities do they have which you would aspire to have? Who inspires you? Who elevates you? As I will continue to say, the objective of this channel is to enhance, enrich and elevate aspects of life. My encouragement to you is never listen to no. When you're being told no, you can't do that because you're a woman. No, you can't do that because you're black. No, you can't do that because you're a black woman. These are only 6 women that I've listed. There are many, many, many more. This video is not going to be long. I only narrowed it down to 6. I've got other women that I think of, you know, when I think about inspiration and aspiration. Make your own list. Don't listen to no. You can shatter so many glass ceilings. The sky is the limit. We are multifaceted. We are multi-dimensional. We are gifted in so many areas. Women are needed, women are vital, women are necessary. You matter. So as I wrap up this video, I want to wish you once again happy International Women's Day. If you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up, hit subscribe, smash the notification bell. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.